Yo, what is up, everyone? We're back, but this time it's a little surprise for you guys. It's a bonus episode. Now, for episode 1 and episode 2, there's one thing that I talk about the most. Let's see if you can pick up on it. This episode's called Year Zero, then Year One. Because, believe it or not, I did have 2 freshman years. Yes, 2. And no, I didn't fail. I was in MKTYP, which is Myocraft Transitional Year Program, aka the secret society of students Brandeis didn't know what to do with, but we made do with what it do. So year zero was the year I was in college, but not really in college. Like a ghost with Canva access. You know, something about year zero. And I'm always going to mention year zero because it was, let's say I was going to class and I registered for 5 classes. So not only am I taking 5 classes, but because it's considered the transitional year program, basically you're doing 16 credits worth of trauma. And it is funny because professors will be like, you're not technically my student, but welcome here. Very interesting, very great time to be alive, I guess. The one thing that didn't feel as bad was, it's the first year, you come in with a certain group. But how did I even find out about TYP, right? Transitional Year Program. It's now called something different, but we'll get to that after a while. It's now called MCAP, which is the Myocraft Achievers Program. And so the one thing that wasn't as bad was this, there was no feeling of being invisible on campus. It's now that I'm a senior that people are like, oh, are you going for your master's? Or are you part of a program? And I'm like, oh, here's what happened. Because a lot of people think that I'm going to school for 5 years because I'm a part of another program after the 5th year. Yeah, no, I wasn't earning any credit when I first started at Brandeis. I was taking 1 4-credit class, and that was it. And taking 16 credits that, again, have no resonation. I don't know what you want to call that, but it is what it is. Now, the one thing about the TYP classes, at least before, was they were so much harder than they were supposed to. I think, now that I have a couple of years under my belt at Brandeis, those classes that were considered TYP helping you transition, yeah, no. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I need to know why we were part of a program, and you didn't even specify to tell us. I don't remember ever saying that it was going to be 5 years. I thought it was cool because it was Brandeis, it was the East Coast. I got recommended to go to this school, and all right, we're doing it. We're here. But come on. And I know that our program is it was fighting to now earn a credit, but what about the kids before? We're stuck in this system, and why? Don't even get me started. And that year zero, after I realized that the first semester it was going to be like this the whole year, yeah, I stopped trying. Who's going to try? You're going to sit here and tell me that you're going to go through all these classes and you're going to try your hardest. No. I don't know. Maybe. But still, no. I'm just like, why would you put students through that? That makes absolutely no sense. So what I do, went to a bunch of parties. I hung out with my friends all the time, freshman year. And year zero was great. It was amazing. But I knew I had 4 years of this goddamn bullshit. And it made me sad, or that they considered me to be a part of class of 2025. And it would have been great. However, again, being a TYP student is different. So once you realize that this year is officially over, now you start year one. But year zero just taught me how to advocate for myself, how to take up space when I wasn't invited to the table just yet. This was the first year I realized I was meant to be here. And so we move on to TYP student to now this Brandeis student, whatever that means. Now I gotta give you context about what happened from year zero to year one. So you guys know that I took one Brandeis course that was considered credit, right? I take one class and my advisor does not tell me anything about add drop period. And I know there's something else, I just can't remember what it is. Are you serious? I'm a first generation low income student coming into Brandeis. I'm far away from home. And I gotta deal with this bullshit? What am I gonna do with you, Brandeis? I take the class and I'm talking to my advisor, and this is the TYP advisor. And I'm telling her, man, I know I'm gonna fail. What do I do? And this professor, it was about third world history, something. I was interested in politics. I took it and I thought it would be fun. Yeah, it wasn't. The ad drop period, I didn't know anything about it. So I'm going through this class, right? And I'm going through it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna fail. Do you know how sad it is that you can't even go to your own advisor because they're not gonna help you? I go, and she's like, talk to the professor. All right, let's do what you're asking me to do. I go to the professor, and it's this old white dude. And this old white dude is sitting in his office, and there's a senior right before me. Now, don't mind me. Me and my nosy ass is going to pay attention to what the professor's saying. So I go into this conversation, and I'm hearing that the senior is asking that, I need this class to graduate. I know I'm not doing so well in your class. Would there be a possibility to pass? I kid you not, I hear these words. Because you're a senior, I'm going to let you pass. I go into the conversation and ask him the exact same question that the senior was asking. And he said, you're a freshman. Don't worry about it. All right, Brandeis. What else can you do to me, right? So I failed this class. 0.0 GPA that I had to start at this goddamn school. 0.0. Do you know how embarrassing that is? To start so low, I had to prove to Brandeis that I could be a student. And every semester since, it's gotten higher and higher and higher. And it's finally at a 3.0, right? Congratulations. No, it took so goddamn long. Why? Because advisors don't tell me about these things that I needed. And I was just like, this is so terrible. So terrible. Luckily, by that point, I'd already decided, fuck politics. I'm not going to do that. First of all, how the fuck? We're not even ready for a woman president. Are we ready for anything else? You guys know who's in charge of the world right now? Yeah, fuck that shit. No. I wanted to. No. Right, so education course. Again, this is still year 0, spring semester. I get an A in that class. My GPA is balanced. What an awful way to start at a school that you don't even know. It's like they want you to fail. It's like I can talk on and on about the differences between everything I've seen, especially because that's what this podcast is about. God damn. And I joined another program called the Student Support Services Program. Great program. Part of it in high school, I was a part of the trio back in my Yakima Valley high school. And greatest time, right? Trio is amazing. What they do is amazing. And that advisor has helped me so much. Darlene is a lifesaver. She is an angel. She, oh my God, the amount that I know that she goes through is crazy. And I appreciate her so much because out of everything I've gone through at Brandeis, one person has stuck. One. And I'm just talking staff. Professors are great. Administration, yeah, we can get there. We can talk about it. So I have to go through pre-orientation again. And I'm like, there is no way I am doing this again. I had to go through it again. Imagine having 2 pre-orientations. Thank God I could skip out on the actual orientation, right? Because imagine 2 orientations. Yeah, no. It was funny because they're like, oh, welcome to Brandeis class of 2026. And I was like, I've been here before. And it's just like, year 1 was just like, I don't know why year 0 even existed. And I always consider it my year 0 because it's just nothing was happening that year. And I'm just like, it's so odd and so weird, right? To be a part of this. And I'm just like, this would have been a lot simpler if you would have told us. And did they? Probably. I will say thank you to Robert Kraft because he's the one that's funding it. Yay. Go Pats, right? But god dang, can you believe that? And that's just the first year I spent here at Brandeis. Just the first year. Man, it was a wild time. It was crazy. Then when, the official Brandeis, all my credits were counting, that's when you can finally, see the difference. And, I remember my freshman year self, my year one and year zero self. Yikes. Shocked, but like on a different level. Really bad. Really bad. I would never go back to it, to be honest. And that was basically it for year one. And like, year one was easy. I officially wanted a Russia fraternity. I did it. So year one, I joined Sammy. Amazing. Right? And officially, when we moved to, getting to the class of 2026, I was like, now you gotta make friends with both. I saw my friends go through graduation, and I'm still here. So people ask, are you a part of this program? Yeah, I am. I am, but flaws in everything. And that's literally what people don't see. They don't see that this is happening. And I'm just like, what are you supposed to do? You sit and think about it. What are you supposed to do? Something so wrong with the American public school system and now the university school districts. University just itself. It's like, yeah, all right. Being a first generation low income student, that's also another thing that just people don't tell you on a different level. It is so hard to go through all these things, and you're just like, I always say that people don't see what it takes to earn my spot. When I spent my whole first year proving that I belong here at a school that doesn't even want me, to be honest. They don't see the grind behind the picture or behind the glow up. Nobody knows that, year zero students had to fight 3 times as hard just to get a C plus and a peace of mind. But I do. Really understanding this TYP program, and thank God it's better now. Like, I'm happy for all the new students that are coming in, because now it's a 4-year program, because now it's called the Myrocraft Achievers Program. And I wish I would have had that, but here I am. And again, I lived the way it was supposed to, whatever. Now I'm chilling this 5th year. So it's like, it's pretty fun. Sometimes being called Unc, yeah, it bothers, but that's fine. But this one is for the real ones. To my TYP fam, always in my heart, because we went through the same shit. Believe me, that year was tough for students who walked in with nothing but doubt and still made it. If you're listening from year zero space in your life right now, just know year one is coming. And when it does, own that seat like it was made for you. I'll catch you next time. And if you're in your bonus era like me, light one, laugh a little, cry if you have to. We finally made it.